right, guys, welcome to another episode of Imperfect Together with Zach and Micah. Chris isn't here because, he's not that great of a Christian.
He sucks.
So, yeah, he decided to ditch us. And he was
That's right.
You know what, Zach, you can do this. And I said, yeah, you're right, I can. And so here we are. Micah, how you doing?
I'm doing all right.
You're doing
How about
good?
you?
I'm doing great. I'm just kidding about the whole, him not being a good Christian. I know he's a good Christian. We don't compare. You guys all know that. I have a question for you, Micah. Have you ever done something that you only had the courage to do when someone was with you?
I have.
What is it?
So there's this abandoned water tower in Greenwood, and everybody goes up to it. But most of the time, people just go and look off the cliff over, and then they'll go and look at the cool water tower. Well, we decided to go up on it, and I'm afraid of heights, so I don't do that.
Okay.
And so my buddies went up there, and I was like, well, I don't want to be the only one. So I went up there, and it was scary, but now I've done it ever since. By myself, like I'll go by myself sometimes and
You
go
just
up there.
go up there?
Yeah.
Is there water in the water tower?
No, it's
you ever-
abandoned. There's no water. I've been inside of it.
You've been inside of it?
Yeah. It's cool. There's spray paint everywhere.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's a cool place.
I highly recommend that you guys don't do that.
Don't do it.
Don't do that. That is something that is illegal, and that there would be ramifications if you guys did that. So do not do that.
Don't do it.
I have a story. There was a time. This is another one that you don't do. This was whenever I was in college and I was living in Fayetteville. And one of my friends, Brian, he was like, "Hey, I wanna do something." I was like, "All right, what do we want to do?" He was like, "All right, there's a whole bunch of black cows. There's a whole bunch of black cows in this field, and I want to go cow tipping." And I was like, "Okay, this sounds
fun.
Sounds fun, right?" And so we go in the middle of the night, like complete darkness. There's no lights anywhere. And we didn't bring our flashlights. We didn't do anything. We parked the car like probably a quarter of a mile out. And so we're walking, complete darkness, and we get to these cows, and they're kind of all together, and it's really muddy, and we tipped one of them over, and then but here's the scary thing, is that they all started running around like crazy. They started running around, and we couldn't see anything, and so we're getting literally just tossed and turned, and we can't like I can't see anything, and I'm sure I had a big bruise like on my thigh of like a cow probably stepping on me, and afterwards
man.
and like we didn't have any direction of where to go. Like we were like walking around. We eventually walked to a house, and then we realized, and then we just took that house, and we found the driveway, and we just walked it down the road and figured out, where to go. But man, we were muddy and we were bruised, and it was a bad idea.
Moral of the story: don't do that.
We did it at 12 o'clock, and we didn't get home until about 4. It was a bad decision.
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Illegal.
Yeah. And and the cows were like, we tipped one cow over, and the cows were not happy. Like they were running around. And it was one of the scariest things.
Oh man.
We could have easily been hurt. Whenever I did that, it was, I was kind of against it at first, just because I was like, I don't know about that. Seems kind of illegal. I don't know these cows, all this stuff, but he encouraged me, which, I mean, I guess.
Peer pressure.
Yeah. But anyways, he encouraged me to do something like that. And so this is going to be a great transition into small groups. This Bible starts with, in the beginning, God created, followed by a whole chapter listing all the things that God created and how God ranked them. And then the first not good thing in all creation was being alone. Would you say that that's,
Yeah.
you know, and that was with Adam, you know, he was, you know, he didn't have a partner, you know, he was kind of just,
He's
you
by
know,
himself.
he was doing the garden, you know, naming the animals, naming the fish, naming the creatures, naming the beasts and all that stuff. And he was doing it alone and he wanted, you know, he wanted help. And eventually God put him in a deep sleep and took one of his ribs and sharpened it into a warm man. And,
There you go.
you know, but with all that being said, we are wired to not be alone. We are designed for a connection. So with that, and with the context of small groups, so why do small groups matter? So with what I just said, why do small groups matter?
Well, I mean, small groups matter to me personally is because it's like being alone. Like you can walk, you have a small group so that you can walk through your faith with a whole group of people and not by yourself. You have accountability with other people.
Yeah. And like with me, like I've been in, I'm 34, I've been in multiple small groups and all that stuff. There's some small group, there's some leaders that I still talk to this day, you know, and they're very close friends of mine. And there's one of them that's actually walking me through what I'm going through right now with all the, you know, health stuff. But I have a question. So with your small group friend, with your small groups that you have, the small group that you have right now and your friends, how are they different?
Well, so me and my small group, we're all pretty close because we talk about, like what Jesus, we go deep. Or I think with my small group, I can go deep in a different aspect than I can with my friend group. So my friend group, we can go deep and talk about life, but with my small group, we can go deep and talk about how God leads our life, you know?
Yeah, okay. There's a scripture I want to read that's going to kind of help us understand this, which is Hebrews 10:23-25, and it says, "Let us hold tightly without wavering to the hope we affirm, for God can be trusted to keep his promise. Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works, and let us not neglect our meetings together, as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near." So with that, I think it really shapes what a small group is, which, you know, we affirm each other, we love one another. There's acts of love and good works. We pray for each other. What do you love most about your small group?
I love the fact that we can be real with each other. So like on a different level, whereas like, you know, we have groups of friends, but like with small group, you have accountability. So you can really open up and be able to be vulnerable with people who aren't going to judge you, because y'all are all going through your own walks of life, but all in a group together, and you're able to really share and get deep. And
do you get scared at all with small groups? Like for instance, like in the beginning, you're going into a brand new small group. You get scared?
I mean, the first time I ever really got in a small group, I was afraid because I didn't know anyone in the group. So I was like, I don't want to share what my past is because I'm afraid that they're going to judge me. But then the more and more I got into that group, I was like, oh, these people, they've been through stuff too, you know, and they're not judging me, and I'm not going to judge them for what they've done. So
I would say with small groups, you know, especially in like a church setting, it takes time. I've noticed that it takes a few months for people to really open up and really have that conversation, because
I mean, you're not going to open up overnight about something. It's just like whenever you meet a new friend, you're not just going to be vulnerable right there, then and there. You're going to have to grow trust, and then
you're not going to go right up. Hey, I have an addiction, you know. I have another question. So the small group that you're in right now, Is there anything that you would change from it? Or do you like it the way it is?
I mean,
Are you guys getting deep enough, or are you guys?
I feel like I wish we would go deeper. I wish we would. I mean, we're a very joking group, but I wish we would go deeper and really like be real for a little bit and go deep and talk about like, you know, what we're struggling with more and be more vulnerable.
Yeah.
So we're able to help.
Well, how can we do that?
I think, personally, I think I could lead it. So like I feel like if I opened up about like how I really felt and how like God has changed me, I feel like it would help start a chain reaction of, you know, other people opening up and be like, okay, here's my story and here's how y'all can help me.
Yeah. No, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's how it should be. Whenever I was, so I was in a small group and there was me, another guy that kind of had the same kind of, you know, feelings that we wanted to get deep and all that stuff. But then we had a whole other group of people that were just not interested at all, you know, but we were stuck for a whole summer, you know, talking about this thing, you know, it was a college, summer program. And, me and this guy got really close. His name was Michael. But the other ones, it was just very difficult to get deep. Yeah. And then it just came to a point where, all right, me and Michael are going to get it deep, but
other people,
if the other people, if they don't want to participate, like, you know, we'll just talk to the leader and that's it, you know, like, and that's just kind of how it was. You know?
I mean, sometimes you're going to get that. I've had groups where, you know, it just didn't click. And so I left the group because I didn't feel like this group could really all go vulnerable together. And instead they're treating it like, you know, we're just having fun. We're not really getting deep.
But even like afterwards, like after that program was over, like me and Michael, I mean, he was one of the first people that texted me when I came out of the coma, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
you create friendships out of small groups.
Yeah. And like, I mean, and he's doing great. And so, but it's this, you know, it's just being vulnerable and I think when you're vulnerable, other people tend to be more vulnerable, but you do have some incident, you know, in some cases where, you know, people don't want to be vulnerable and all that stuff. And they're just being there just to be there, which stinks. But I really truly believe if you continue to be vulnerable, eventually, you know, that shell's going to crack. But it's putting yourself out there. And that's something that I had to learn pretty early. Like, if anyone knows me, I'm pretty much an open book.
Yeah.
Like, I pretty much could talk about anything. Yeah. You know, even with this, you know, all this going on, you know, this is probably the first time where I'm not super open about it, which is weird. But it's a process, and I'm working through it. But
and it's not going to be easy to be vulnerable overnight. Yeah. So it takes time.
And I'm good with talking about it with like close friends, and you know, even a small group. You know, if I was in one at this moment, I would talk about it and all that stuff. But I've always learned if you want to connect people, is just be personal. You know, even through the teachings that I've done in middle school and all that stuff, if you're super personal and you really talk about things that you're struggling with, kids will connect. And, you know, even in small groups, if you're super personal and very being real with them, they will connect.
I mean, what you put in a small group, you're going to take out of a small group.
Yeah. All right. How do the members of your small group support and encourage each other?
Well, personally, from my aspect, we've all hung out, and so they're always going to be there for me. They're always asking me, hey, how can I help you? Or like, whenever say I come to church one day and I've had a tough day, they're asking me how my day is, and then they're backing me with everything I do. Like, here, we'll be praying for you, or like if I'm going through something, they're always going to be praying for me, and I know they'll be there for me.
Were you in a small group in middle school?
I was not. I got in a small group whenever I was actually in high school. Was one of the first small groups I got into. So probably 2 years ago.
Yeah. I was in a small group in middle school. I was in a Lutheran school. I mean, not a Lutheran school. I was in a Lutheran church, and I don't remember a whole lot about it. I think I was pretty, I mean, it was just a group of guys just always kind of messing around, and very difficult to really focus. And I think we really frustrated the teacher most of the time.
Yeah.
And, there would be a lot of farting and a lot of
a lot
whatever.
of boy stuff.
Yeah. I wouldn't say bullying. We weren't really bullies with each other, but it was just like, I don't remember like a thing that we talked about, And I think, and the guy, I forgot, I think his name was Randy or something like that, but the dude tried so hard, and he just couldn't bring it. Like,
I've been there.
Like, there would be times where, there would be a serious moment, and I remember this vividly. This guy, he has his pocket, and he goes, and we all just started laughing, and then like we all just started like spitting on it, like on our clothes and stuff. I mean, and we were like, I don't know, 7th and 8th grade, and the guy with Randy just didn't know how to handle it. He's just like, whatever, like,
just go.
This lesson's over. Like, go outside and play. Like, and like, we get home and there's spit all over my clothes and stuff like that, and I don't know, we were just idiots. All right, so with all that, what are some ways we can make sure we are getting the most out of our small group?
Well, I think first you have to be intentional. So whenever you go into your small group, try to really listen. Try to be open and really talk about stuff, not just sit around and like, oh, I'm just here to be here. Like, really try to get deep into it. Then the second thing is also try to be like trustworthy with other groups. So like other people in your group, always ask them like how they're doing, like text them even, or even your small group leader.
Creating a safe place.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I would say is own your small group. Like, be happy to be in a small group. Because some people don't have that opportunity at the church, So be happy to be in a small group and be in an area where we're able to
like
be
unity. This is literally a time for you to flush out everything that you are dealing with, and make it personal. Like, if you want to get anything out of a small group, if the small group you're in, if I would have known this in middle school, like farting and spitting on myself and all that stuff, like really wasn't helping me in the long run. And I didn't really know Christ until my junior year in high school, And so I was a church kid at a Lutheran school, but I didn't learn anything. I even went through communion. I went through with confirmation or whatever, and I don't even know how I got through it. You know, and the only reason why I wanted to do it is so I could have wine and bread whenever they pass it around. That's the only reason why I wanted to go through confirmation. And I had to write papers and all that stuff, and I have no idea what I wrote.
Exactly.
But it didn't really click until I was in high school, and I wish, I wish I had the understanding to, make it personal. To be present and to focus on what other people are actually saying and what Randy was saying at the time, and creating and helping create that safe place to where when other people open up with their personal stuff, whatever it may be, that we don't make fun of them, that we're encouraging them, so that's what I would say.
And I think whenever we start doing all these things, we'll start to see it grow not only in us, but in your group as a whole. You're going to start seeing your group, oh, wow, we're really actually starting to become a group and actually starting to grow with each other. And then later on, it'll help you to, talk about your faith to other people, not just your small group. Yeah, we were made more than just a surface level relationship. Exactly. We were made more than just, hey, how you doing? Oh, you're doing great.
okay, we'll see you later. You know, God intended it to be a lot more, you know. It's a really, like right now, the stuff that I'm going through, I'm talking to this guy named Ray, and he has some health issues, and, you know, he's able to walk through this with me, you know, and really kind of, you know, and it's personal, and it's, you know, it's not just this surface level. He's not just calling me. It's like, hey, everything okay? Yeah, I'm doing all right. Like, I'm doing fine. You know, it's like, no, there's a lot of stuff going on.
No, I'm
like,
dealing with stuff.
Like I have a tube right here. Like that's in my lung right now. You know, like, you know, we were made for a relationship with God that we experience with other people in a very real way. You know, and so just think about the relationship that we have with God and how personal that is. You know, He wants that, you know, for us to have a relationship with that with our small group.
Well, I mean, also, you got to think about it. God didn't walk alone. He had his 12 disciples with him. He had a group of people that he could talk, and the 12 disciples could talk, and they all could walk together with the Lord.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we covered small groups pretty well, huh?
Yeah, we did.
I think Chris will be pretty proud of us. Yeah. I think we covered. So I hope that everyone that's listening or watching, that you now understand the concept of small group. Now that you have watched this, I expect all of you guys to be present, to create a safe place, and to make it personal. Make it personal. I'm telling you, you will not regret it.
You won't.
You will not regret it. I'm telling you, it will be very
eye-opening.
Yeah, and life-giving.
And life-giving.
Yeah, and life-giving. So, any final thoughts, Micah?
Hit the notification bell down below.
Yeah, hit the notification, like it if you like it. Guys, it's been a treat. It's been a pleasure. I will see you next week. We'll talk about, really, I have no idea what we're going to talk about next week, but Chris knows. So we'll talk about it then. So
awesome.
See you when you see you.
See y'all.
Bye-bye.
Deuces.